Hey, are you there? I'm here. It looks like I'm just sitting in a little black hole. Hey, everyone, we are live. Are you struggling to stick with keto this time of year? Forgive me, I'm looking at my notes on my phone because I forgot to bring my iPad for it. Oh, and if you can see me, actually, I'll get to this in a moment, why my hand looks like that. Uh, are you struggling to stick with keto this time of year? Have you ever realized that we just have three back to back sugary, carby, crappy loaded holidays this time of year? Is this a coincidence or is there a reason for it? Well, guess what? This episode is for you. Stick around because I'm going to tell you why my hand looks like that. And for those of you just listening to the audio, don't worry, I'll describe what my hand looks like and why my hand looks like this. And I'm also going to share with you why our bodies are designed to gain weight this time of year and what we can do about it. I'm going to give you three very practical things that you need to do right now if you want to avoid buying bigger pants in January. I'm going to give you again three practical things. I'm going to give you one really impractical thing, but you may want to consider it anyways. And also including what foods to avoid this time of year and also what foods you want to eat to make it through this time of year. So, are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Well, welcome everyone to episode 56 of Keto Chat Live. I am your host, Carol Freeman. I have a master's in nutrition and clinical health psychology, and I also am a board certified keto nutrition specialist. I'm a keto coach and I specialize in women 40 plus that would like to follow keto for long term sustainable weight loss and optimal health. Um, Just so you know, too, this show is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only. I sure hope you're entertained. When you're joining the show, just give me a comment. Tell me where you're joining from. I'd love to know, get people all across the country and all around the world. It's very fun to know where you're joining us from. So let me know. Yeah, again, this show is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not medical advice, nor intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any condition. If you have questions or concerns related to your specific medical condition, please contact your qualified healthcare professional. So let me know where you're joining from. I'd love to have you join the show. I can see we've got people live, but I can't see who they are until you actually comment. So I'd love you to join the show. It's interactive. One of the reasons I like to do this live rather than just recorded is I want to interact with you people. I love the interaction. So please join the show. All right. Oh, I promised you I was going to tell you why my hand looks like this. So for those of you just listening to the audio, my left hand is covered with little various shades of red splotches, swatches, and maybe some of you already are guessing what it is if you're a fan or a frequenter of Ulta or Sephora or some other beauty supply place. But one of my sisters for my birthday, oh, by the way, yesterday was my birthday. I got a year older, everyone. Yesterday was my birthday. And one of my sisters sent me a gift card to Ulta, which is super fun. There is a lip product that I like from NYX. It's their XXL lingerie lipstick. I don't have it with me. I don't remember the name of it. If you want to know, give me a comment and I'll look it up later and post it in the comments here. But um, there's a lip product that I like, and I have a couple of shades that I like. And so my sister sent me a gift card for my birthday, and I went and swatched a whole bunch of shades. If you've ever done it, it's kind of fun to try them all. The testers, I swear they have like 20 different flavors, not flavors, but just different colors in this product. And so it was fun to swipe them all and see if I could find one that I liked. And one of the reasons why I like this product so much is because it is waterproof. It stays on. It doesn't dry out your lips. You can put lip gloss over the top of it, but it sounds like it's a commercial for this product. It's not. I'm just again having fun with like why my hand looks like this. I don't know, it's been more than 24 hours since I've swatched all these. Now it does sound like an ad for the product, right? And I've washed my hands so many times and this doesn't come off. So I went to dinner last night with some friends for my birthday, and one of them said like, "Oh, it looks like you're getting those aged liver spots on your hands, wrong color." And it was like, "Oh, it looks like you might have that AIDS disease or something." So no, neither of those are true. This is I guess it's an amazing product. It's not a commercial for it, but I will look up the product later and put it in the comments for you on Facebook and YouTube so that you can know what it is, because yeah, it's pretty amazing that it wouldn't even come off of my hand like that. And this is the new shade I got. Don't remember the name of it. Oh, I think it's Maxed Out is the shade I got. It's a very neutral mauve color, which I like. And I have no idea which one on my hand that it is. But anyways, that's just a little fun personal update there. I did go up and visit family over Thanksgiving holiday in the US here. Did you have a good holiday? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? What did you do? And all right. So speaking of Thanksgiving, that's one of these 3 carby, sugary holidays that we have this time of the year. Have you ever noticed that? So we've got Halloween, which is all about the sugar. And 1 month later in the US, we have Thanksgiving, which I'll tell you, besides the turkey and ham, it's all carbs. It's all carbs. It's carb casserole after carb casserole after carb casserole, followed by carb dessert, carb dessert, carb dessert, right? That's Thanksgiving tradition in the US. And then 1 month after that, we have the Christmas holiday here in the US. And that's also just another carby holiday. And typically between Thanksgiving, I have a friend actually for Thanksgiving. She said she spent an entire week cooking for Thanksgiving. And that may be typical of your family. And then a lot of people have a lot of Christmas holiday traditions as well, where they bake a lot of stuff. They've got the family tradition, the recipe, the thing, they bake stuff with the kids and they decorate them. And why? Have you ever stopped to wonder? Actually, this just hit me earlier this year or this season. Why are there 3 carb-loaded holidays this time of the year? Have you ever stopped to think about it? I bet you haven't, because I hadn't. It is because our bodies are designed to overeat and gain as much weight as possible at this time of the year. So it's no coincidence that we've got these 3 high-carb holidays this time of year, because we're wired to seek out as much of that kind of food as possible this time of year and then shove as much of it in our mouth as possible. So no wonder we've got these family traditions and holidays and all this where we make all of these foods. We're following up on how our bodies are designed. We created all these holidays. Well, we structured them all close together because this is what our bodies want to do this time of year. So does that mean it's hopeless? We should just give up? We're designed this way. We can't help it. Just pig out and gain as much weight as possible. No, guess what? Yeah, that's why I'm here. This does not mean we're doomed. It does not mean we're doomed. It just means you need to be more mindful this time of the year and have some strategies in place to avoid this and offset this. So again, like I promised, I'm going to have 3 strategies for you to offset this and 1 impractical thing. So 3 practical strategies, 1 impractical strategy. And so you don't have to buy bigger pants in January. There's a reason why everybody in January decides it's time to start a diet. I know it's a new year, but it's also just after these 3 high carb, stuff your face as much as possible holidays, gained a lot of weight, and we don't need to survive the scarce season. So the reason our bodies are designed this way, let me cover that. The reason our bodies are designed this way is because for most of human existence, food was pretty scarce. And food grows in the summer, and in the fall is when all these plants start to deposit their sugars in their roots. And it's when things like apples are ripe is in the fall, right? And then you get all the squashes and the sugary parts of the plants and things like that are all ripe in the fall. And that's when food is most abundant in nature. And that is when we are designed to start to eat as much of that as possible. And then we went through the winter. And winter is typically when food is the most scarce for animals and humans on this planet. Again, not now, but for the most of 200,000 years that humans have been on this planet, food has been really scarce. And so this is the way we've been designed over that 200,000 years is harvest the food in the fall and eat, shove as much in our pie hole as possible so we can gain as much weight and make it, if we can live through the winter on the fat that we've accumulated on our body. Now for animals, this works well because they don't have McDonald's and a Wendy's and a Burger King on every corner and a Starbucks with 14 kinds of sugary things you can add to your drinks. Also shout out, this is just my girlfriend so sweetly, I love the color on this, sent me this for my birthday. Speaking of Starbucks, she sent me this for my birthday, cute little drink cup that has a straw in it. And what I have in here is water, and I have an element packet. So LMNT, drink element Also not sponsoring the show. I think they should though. In here with water, which is a electrolyte packet. It's primarily salt and a tiny bit of stevia. This is the watermelon flavor one. I don't know where that. Excuse me, picking something out of my teeth. And so that's what's in here. But so I use my Starbucks cup for good, not for sugary drinks. Thank you, Stephanie, for the cup. Very sweet. And all right, so back on track here. Where were we? Okay, so 47 kinds of sugar you can get in your Starbucks drinks, and you can gain as much weight as possible very easily now. But unfortunately, we're still working with that. Like our body's biology is wired this time of year to start to gain weight. How does it know? How does it know? Why is it that even though the amount of food that's available this time of year for us is the same as it is in January and February and April, why is it that, how does our body still know that this is the time of year? Well, there's a couple of things that are happening out in the environment by weather and also change of the seasons that your body actually can notice. So one is that the temperatures are getting cooler. Your core temperature in your body is feeling that. It's cooling down. That's one of the signals that your body recognizes. And also the daylight hours in the day are getting shorter. Those are two primary reasons that your body knows, oh, this is the time where we need to pig out. And so those cues correlate with increased appetite, more commonly overeating, and it just happens to coincide with these 3 holidays I just mentioned as well, as to why we start to overeat this time of year, right? Is this all starting to make sense? Becoming very clear. You also might start to feel a little hopeless. Like, oh my gosh, are we doomed? Is there anything we can do? I can't make the sun shine more hours. I can't make it warmer outside. I got you. All right, so those are the 2 things primarily that are happening that signal to our body that this is fall and it's time to start to eat as much as possible. And so, are you having trouble this time of year? Are you feeling like you have more cravings? I mean, part of it is these high carb foods are everywhere you look in the grocery store, but we've put them there. We've designed them to be there so that we can overeat them. So maybe you do feel like this is harder time of year. So listen up to my tips. All right, so the three things you need to do right now, if you don't want to buy bigger pants in January, if you want to keep strong and steady on your healthy eating plan, one thing is you want to do light therapy. 2, you want to warm up that core of your body. And 3 is the foods I'm going to mention that are going to help nourish your body and satisfy your nourishment needs without filling up on extra calories and carbohydrates that just make you gain weight. And then I'm going to give you bonus number 4, which is the one that's totally impractical, but it's the funnest one, and I really think you should consider it. So, number 1, light therapy. This is so I recently moved a couple of years ago. I moved from Seattle, Washington, which is northern latitudes, have the most trouble with this. Also, like if you're on the bottom half of the planet as well and you're in the very southern latitudes, not this time of year, but 6 months from now when your seasons are opposite of ours, you have the same challenges. And actually, I would wonder, I'm going to reach out to I have some business acquaintances that are in New Zealand and Australia, and I'm going to ask them if they have springtime really carby holidays that they struggle with. So I'm going to do some intelligent work, some intelligence gathering here for you all. So in Seattle, northern latitudes, if you live in the northern latitudes, it is much more challenging because you have more of a stark contrast between the summer and the fall and winter. And so you're going to have much cooler temperatures than where I moved 2 years ago. I moved down to Phoenix, Arizona. We have much more temperate. I know a lot of people think that it's like an oven down here and it's 1,000 degrees every day. It's not true. Right now, this time of year, it is December 1st is when I'm recording this. We're going live, and it's 70 degrees today. It's very comfortable. I'm in short sleeves. I'm wearing pants. I'm all dressed up. That's Arizona dress up, is wearing pants. And it's very comfortable. So the farther north you are, the farther south you are, the more you're going to struggle with this. And so light therapy is where, and I did this when I lived up in the Seattle area. So light therapy is you want to buy a specific type of light box. There's a bunch of different brands. You could just Google this, look it up on Amazon. but you want to find one that has 10,000 lux, and LUX is the brightness of the bulbs that are in there. It needs to be 10,000 lux or higher. That is the research proven brightness of light that you need in order to get this effect. And the research therapy shows that you want to do this for 20 minutes first thing in the morning. However, when I was there, what I found worked best for me was to actually just have it shining in my eyes all day long at my desk. And so if you have a job where you can actually, if you're at a desk and you can have it on your desk shining into your face, that's great. Otherwise, if you're something where you can't have it shining on you, you'll want to use it first thing in the morning, maybe in your bathroom or as you're enjoying your coffee in the morning, something like that. The key is that it needs to be shining straight into your eyes. It can't be shining off to the side. It can't be behind you. It needs to get in your eyes. And so that's how the whatever sensors in our body get stimulated that it's bright and it's sunny and it's not fall and winter and it's not time to eat as much as possible. Okay, so the number one tip is to get a therapy light box. And again, you want for look for 10,000 lux. There's countless brands that you can get that serve this. So again, the key is at 10,000 lux. That's the brightness of the bulb or the bulbs in there. And again, you can do, research shows doing it 20 minutes in the morning prevents seasonal affective disorder, which is the depression that goes along with this. But I found for me for best mood, and again, experiment for yourself and see what works best for you, is I had it shining in my face all day long during the fall and winter. And the number 2 tip is going to be about warming up your core. So remember I said that the outside temperatures are the other thing that's triggering your body right now to crave and consume and eat as much as possible. So warming up your core of your body with things like a sauna, and this is going to be more than just taking like a hot bath. This is going to be traditional sauna, like a steam sauna, but also infrared saunas are really good, shown to heat up the core of the body. And these are things you can buy in your house. You can go places that have them. So I know a lot of the tanning beds in the north actually have these. You can go in and sit in them. So monthly membership, and you can go use the infrared sauna box thing that they have. And they're very comfortable. It doesn't feel as hot on the external skin as a traditional heat or wet sauna. And it is penetrating your skin and it's heating up on the inside. It's not heating as much on the outside. So if you find that a traditional sauna is just too much, you can't take it, then the infrared sauna may be your friend. Infrared sauna has also been shown, or it's theorized, to speed up metabolism as well. This may be part of what's going on, right? So our metabolism is speedier in the summer when things are warmer, and perhaps infrared heating up the core of your body is also part of what is simulating that summertime, and it's not time to pig out and eat too much. And the other thing that I would do personally up in the Seattle area is that I would do a tanning bed, and that got me both the bright light and the heat. And that was one of my tricks up there, living up in the north, to keep my body warm and to simulate summertime. And so my number 3 tip is then going to be about the types of foods you want to eat and the types of foods you want to avoid. So in general, I'm going to recommend to most of my clients that they avoid these foods all year long. So sticking with your low carb diet, avoiding, sugary things, pasta, bread, grains, all of those things, tortillas, corn, that kind of stuff. Avoiding all of that stuff year round, and especially this time of year, because again, if you consume those things, your body right now is wired and primed to eat as much of those as possible. So you're going to crave them. You're going to be obsessed with them. You're going to not be able to limit the amount. You're going to overeat them, and your waistline is going to expand, and you're going to feel pretty uncomfortable. The other thing to go, I didn't mention this yet, but these 3 high carb sugary holidays that we have back to back this time of year, do you also notice that how rampant flu and cold and viruses are this time of year? When you consume high sugar, high refined carbohydrates, it suppresses your immune function. And it's probably no wonder then that we've got these 3 high carb sugary holidays followed by flu season. Maybe it's just sugar poisoning season. I don't know. All right. So what are the foods? Okay. So I mentioned what to avoid. You want to avoid actually the things you would crave. Now, the clients I'm working with, we teach them tricks and tools to avoid cravings, and so they shouldn't be having these cravings. But these are going to be the foods you often crave this time of year if you're not doing the other two things I mentioned, which is heating up your core of your body and using the light therapy. And so avoid processed refined sugar, carbohydrates. Those things just aren't doing any good for anybody's health. You want to focus on protein rich foods. That should be the basis of each meal. And I'm going to lean in. So, I actually, a fun fact, I used to teach at a school in Portland, Oregon, that was a really cool certification they offered that was in Western nutrition and also Eastern nutrition. So, they brought in Chinese principles to their nutrition. I taught the Western side of the classes, and then one of the other instructors taught the Eastern side. And I learned so much really cool stuff about how Eastern nutrition looks at Chinese nutrition looks at things that nourish your body. And so this is actually pulling from that. So you want to go for slow cooked foods this time of year. Slow cooked. So heat. You want those warm foods. That's why we crave things like stews and soups, and we want roasted veggies this time of year. So slow cooker or pressure cooker for your meats, so they're soft and tender and they're well cooked. That's going to be ideal, especially leaning to the red meats as well, because those are going to be the most nutrient dense. Your what are they called? Peter Baller said, what are they called? The ruminants. So you want like lamb and beef and buffalo. What else is in that category? Are goats ruminants? I think goats are ruminants. Anyway, so ruminants, red meat, slow cooked or pressure cooked, instant pot. Those types of meats are going to help you get the maximum nutrition out of those meats right now. And when you slow cook, you instant pot cook those meats, it actually helps break down the tissues so much that it's much easier to get the minerals out of there. So there's the Western side of why this works. The Eastern side is you want those heat cooked. So as you're thinking about heating up the core of your body, you want to think about the foods are also going to be heating up the core of your body as well. So again, this is why we crave more warm foods this time of year. And you want to do cooked veggies as well. So there's a reason why salads don't sound as good in the fall and winter as well. Cooking your vegetables and also cooking them to death. Do you remember a time when we told people like, oh no, you want to have raw everything? That's the healthiest way to eat vegetables. It turns out that's not true. Actually, the more cooked vegetables are, the more easily we can assimilate the minerals that are in there. And so this is the theme of the winter, the fall and winter, is maximizing nutrients and maximizing minerals that you can get from those foods. And so cooked veggies, think about roasting, tossing in some kind of oil or fat, and then roasting them in the oven, even boiling them and pureeing them into soup. Think of like mushroom soup or cauliflower or broccoli soups. Think about cooking them, maybe roasting them first and then pureeing them into a soup. Those are going to be ways you're going to be able to get maximum nutrients. That's also going to be that Chinese medicine approach to warming the core of your body. These are considered warming foods. Again, I'm not going to go totally into the depths of it, but that is the basis of how they look at cooling or warming. I forgot the other terms for foods. So that's the secret to the foods you want to eat this time of year. Want to be ones, again, low carb. This is a keto show after all. And roasted, cooked, pureed, blended, cooked as long as possible. And this is why in the South, if you ever had southern greens, they boil them, then they fry them in the pan, and they cook them to death, and they're delicious. They finish them with a little bit of vinegar. So they cook them in some fat. So boil them first, then they cook them in a pan with some fat, and they cook them for a long time. And then you finish it with a little bit of vinegar, which also helps break them down and helps our body start the digestion process. So cooked greens this time of year too. And also the other thing that's going to be warming to your core is going to be spicy things. So spicy food, add some spicy spices in there. There's a reason why like chai tea this time of year sounds good. Even the pumpkin spice craze, there's some warming spices in there. And also think about spicy things. So chili peppers, chili powder, and cayenne, whatever else. What else is spicy? Maybe a little bit of sriracha sauce. Hot sauce, Frank's hot sauce. Have you ever made homemade buffalo sauce before? 50% Frank's Red Hot, 50% butter. So easy. Just warm it up in a pan or the microwave, and you've got buffalo sauce. Put it on chicken, put it on anything. It's really delicious. But also, that's another way of heating up your core this time of year is those spicy foods. All right, you got some ideas of what you might make for dinner tonight, or this week, or this next week? Lots and lots of possibilities here. If you feel like you're getting bored with food, here's a bonus tip for you. If you're getting bored with food, think about all the different types of proteins you like. Think about all the different ways you can cook it, the different cuts of them, and then add one spice to it and one vegetable. You literally could not eat the same meal the rest of your life and have a different meal every single day, every meal, and not run out of combinations that are low carb. So there's no reason to be bored with your food. All right, so I promised you 3 practical things you could do right now to offset our body's tendency to want to gain a lot of weight this time of year, and I promised you one impractical one. So here's the impractical one. Guess what? Move. Move your entire household and your body to a warmer location. Go closer to the equator. All right? People that live close to the equator don't have this tendency to gain weight in the fall and the winter. The foods are different there. They don't have a lot of these root vegetables and other things, seasonal foods that are very high in starchy, sugary carbs. They maybe have a lot more fruit there, but they also don't have this tendency to overeat at this time of the year because the length of the day is the same all year long. And the temperatures are pretty moderate all year long. They don't have big changes. So move. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I moved to Phoenix, Arizona from Seattle is the climate. And so if, like I said, I promised one impractical one, totally impractical, right? I delivered. But this is also why a lot of people take a vacation this time of year to a sunny location. They kind of, and I think I see this a lot, January, February, March probably are more common that people go to those sunny locations closer to the equator because they can only take so much of this, eat as much as possible and hibernate and not move. All right, so what do you think of that? Well, next episode, I've got a special bonus episode this week. Typically, we're live on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's 6 Central, 7 Eastern. If you're listening to the recording, they live on forever out there on the podcast world, wherever you listen to podcasts. But this week, I've got 2 episodes for you. I'm doing a bonus episode on Friday. We'll be doing it live at, what time is it? It is at 11 a.m. Pacific. That is 1 Central and 2 Eastern. And this is going to be about anxiety, food, and your weight with my good friend, Katie McKenna, who is a certified nutritionist and a licensed mental health counselor in Washington State. And we're going to be talking about what is anxiety? What are some ways that we can manage anxiety, reduce it, reframe it? What does it do? Why do we have anxiety? We're going to talk about how anxiety affects the foods that we eat. And vice versa, we're going to talk about how what you eat affects your level of anxiety that you experience. So don't miss that episode. And if you're listening later on the recordings, look for that releasing soon. So today's episode, we talked about the seasonality of weight gain. Why is it that we crave and overeat? Why we put 3 high carb overeat holidays in a row in the US? Why our bodies are designed this way to try to help us survive the winter when food is scarce. But guess what? We got too much food. And I gave you 3 practical things to do. 1 totally impractical thing to do. But you know what? So many people from Seattle have been moving to Phoenix over. I'm not suggesting everyone moved to Phoenix, but also a lot of people moved to Arizona and Texas over. Oh, and Florida too. So there's a lot of people that took the opportunity to be able to move. So that's my impractical one. And so if you like what you heard today and you'd like to get more personalized support for your keto journey, if you're looking for a keto coach near you, I invite you to check out my website, ketocarol.com. Let me put that up on the screen here for you. Check it out. If you haven't been to my website yet, I've got my personal story on there, before and after photos. People love those. I've got a lot of stories of my clients, success stories, and so much more. So if you want to check out my story, it's kind of remarkable because after 3 degrees, 5 years in school, $100,000 in student loans. Oh, and that just keeps going up. I still didn't figure this out until a really bad car accident. Okay, so go check out my website, ketocarol.com, read my story. If I work very, very closely with my clients, and I only open up 10 client spots per month. That's how exclusive the work is that I'm doing with my clients. So I work with people by application. I want to make sure that it's the right fit, that I can help you, and that I'm the right person for you. So again, if you're ready to stop messing around, if you're ready for the next chapter of your life where you are the best version of yourself, I invite you to apply to work with me. Visit my website, ketocarol.com. Carol has an E on the end. It's a very fancy French spelling. And see if we're a match. And remember, if you enjoyed the show, help us grow and we'll help you shrink. So that's all for today. Thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye now.